it's not. Hmm. Because then they'll create thumbnail, I guess, out of the live stream. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I know my heart is definitely wanting better for our people, for sure. Like,
Right. Yeah.
we act like it don't bother, but sometimes you kind of have to function. You just have to do what you need to do, keep moving. Which at the end of the day, you can't intellectualize the entire awakening.
Yeah, a level of detachment is necessary.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it just, it just drive you nuts. But okay. I'm Khamsin, if you didn't know. We're just gonna get going. This is Ernest. He's my other half of the whole. We was definitely halves when we first got together. I said we probably more like 80%ers in this journey.
Yeah, that's a good.
But today is the true new year, based on Sirius, which is our spiritual sun. It is the sun that actually assists us in our spiritual journey across time and space. In this entire universe, Sirius, star A, Sirius, star B. Let me make this really clear. July 26th is the day that Sirius rises to its highest point, which means for those of us who are not operating on 3D Matrix Demon Time, this is the real new year. Ain't gonna be no balls, nowhere counting down. Ain't gonna be no celebrations, because you're on a different version of Earth. If you are listening to me right now, you are on a different timeline. So you are in the same location as everybody else. But I'm sure it's people that you know that have no clue and do not even care and would probably think you was crazy if you said July 26th is actually the new year that was acknowledged by our indigenous ancestors. So this is where we are on the timeline. And when you move different, when you learn new things, when you acknowledge those new things that you learn and you take action, even if it's just meditating, even if it's just acknowledging that today is the day that Sirius rises, that today is the day that ancient Egypt, not just over in the east, over here on the west side in the United States, this is the first Egypt. And so our ancestors acknowledged this as a time of celebration and renewal. When they took over and created the Gregorian calendar, they put us in a slave system where our time and our energy was traded for wages. Before the Gregorian calendar, we weren't on that type of timeline. So this is one simple way you can jump timelines, okay?
How do you get this nut out of here?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Just like that.
Yeah, I think so. Time out with did you do the right thing?
Uh,
So I don't know how y'all found me in earnest right now, because we are not easy to find, because we are creating energy that is completely opposite of the 3D matrix. So the people who are attracted to us, kudos to you. If you followed me from sending out the notification on the website, thank you for being a part of our community. Like, we really mean that, because this spiritual awakening is like what we're actually living. We're not like content creators and we just do this because we think it's gonna be trendy or we're excited about learning something new. We've been doing this for a long time. So let me tell you what happened today. First of all, my dad and my mom, his dad and his mom, both live not very far from Native American, Black, Indigenous mounds. That's not a coincidence, right? We don't believe in coincidences over here. We believe that there is divine assignment, right, behind everything. So I've been having dreams and I'm having ceremonies where we are doing things that indigenous cultures did that I've never studied, okay? So in one of those dreams, I was going through an initiation, and I was told that when I go into underworld energy, that dense, heavy energy, sometimes you just wake up feeling like there's some stuff happening in the world, and you can just feel it. When I go into those spaces, for me to move through those spaces like I know who I am, like I know that I'm divinely protected, like I know that I'm not alone on this journey. And so this was an initiation that I was going through. This was months ago. Leading up to this, we've been teaching, and you all are new here, like go to the old YouTube channel and watch the classes, or Patreon if you want the stuff to get deleted, okay, that they won't even let me post on any platform. But we've been teaching about these things. But in my dream time, I'm doing ceremonies with indigenous people. So when people started waking up to America being Egypt, the Mississippi River being the Nile, it wasn't new for me. I was born with an Egyptian name. Khamsin is my birth name, it's Egyptian. I graduated from a school, our mascot was a pharaoh. I was born in Alexandria. I grew up in Memphis. All these things correlate with Egypt, right? And I couldn't figure out why. So I've been going through initiations on the astral plane, even healing ceremonies using fish, like burning certain parts, organs of fish, and running the smoke, the way that you would do sage or Palo Santo around the body. I've been going through that. And leading up to today, I could hear our ancestors clearly saying mental health issues, poverty, strife, drugs, and violence will continue to be the main thing that your culture is known for until you all start taking practices into your daily lives, our ceremonies and our rituals. They were like, why do you think we was doing that? Why do you think the colonizers wanted us to stop doing that, right? There is no oppression if people are using their rituals and ceremonies and connecting to their ancestors and not just existing to work, to go to school, to eat, to sleep, and that's it. That's existing as an NPC, a non-player character in the simulated reality of the 3D matrix. So many people are talking about we're indigenous. Black people are native to America. All of us did not come from Africa. And this, that, and the third, and a lot of that is true. But I don't believe hype. Okay, so we were like some of the first people in Memphis who really started going hard for Hebrew Israelites, because we were trying to figure out who we were. And then after that, we got into metaphysics. And we was banging hard with metaphysics, right? So now we're in a place of acknowledging that we're indigenous, point blank, period. Okay? And after this last dream that I had where a lion came to the house and she was pregnant, and it scared me so bad. I don't know if anybody watching this video has ever been close to a lion. I had, like when we go to the circus, we've had lions pretty close to us. There's a majesty and a reverence that you feel in the presence of this animal. And you know that this animal is at the top of the food chain and you respect it. It's a feeling that you cannot explain, right? So this lion is beside my bed and she's holding my hand in her mouth. And I woke up from that dream, my hand was wet. I woke up from that dream, my body was shaking. I was vibrating from the lion breathing and purring so close to me. No, in that dream, she was pregnant and a white man was looking for her. Dreams speak in symbology. The lioness represents our ancestral connection, our primordial spirit, who we are outside of this, all of this. This is costume. This is what we came here to do, to have this human experience. Outside of all of this, the great mother is the creatrix of everything seen and unseen. It's the feminine aspect of creation that has not been acknowledged for a really long time. And she came to me and she was pregnant. But the white man represent colonization. So it's saying that as the great mother is sending information, teaching us, giving us gems to follow, breadcrumbs, things we're learning, just certain synchronicities we're noticing. It's like we're being led to something. It's bigger than us. And the black quote unquote culture is something about it where people want to own us. They want to own our masters, own our music. They want to give us contracts, control us, use us. They want to control our time. They want to control our money. They want to control where we're investing our energy. They want to control our minds. Psychological enslavement, slavery turned into a mental warfare. And so we're awakening from that. And in the dream, the white man that was looking for her, I was at my neighbor's house because I walked to my neighbor's house because honestly, I was still spooked. Even though I had that interaction and she let me know she wasn't gonna harm me, I was spooked. So I went next door to ask my neighbors, had they seen a lion in the neighborhood? Crazy shit, right? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'll just make sure y'all didn't have a pet lion, you know what I'm saying? Because she at my house. And I was like, no. And this man come looking for her and he's like, when the moon is full, she's going to go in labor. What is she going to have when she go in labor? She's activating her children. So Mama Earth is a representation of the great mother and she's going through birth pains. So it's not just devastation and war that's happening, but these activations inside of us is happening. And it may seem small, and you may feel small. You may even feel disconnected from spirit. You may feel like spirit really ain't been communicating with you. You may be struggling to remember your dreams. You may not feel like getting up and meditating and doing rituals every day consciously. You may not feel like sitting down and actually creating ceremonies. You may not feel like setting some money aside to actually buy some things to have ceremony, to let your children see you in ceremony and having rituals, and to start teaching your children by the way that you live. This is how you break generational curses. You can't break it by intellectualizing everything. You have to actually do something, and you have to do it consistently so that your energy field, your auric field will program the simulated reality to realize we're not on that same timeline we had been on. We getting off of that, right? And so the dream before that was I had these eggs, and these eggs were hatching. And it was a man who was assisting me with the hatch, because all the eggs was hatching. I couldn't handle it by myself. And this man was assisting me. And as I'm gathering the eggs, I found a snake. The snake was coiled up. It was like it had been sleeping and it was waking up. And that's knowledge, that's wisdom. That is the Kundalini energy, which basically means we're starting to reconnect with what's going to give us energy, right? We're reconnecting with the mitochondrial DNA within us. That is the great mother, as within, so without. And so you may feel like you're not healing, but if you're watching this, you are, okay? And so these dreams have been leading me to today. So today, I've been going back and forth on whether or not I should share this ceremony or just do this with me and my family. And I did not do the ceremony and live stream the ceremony because the ancestors told me not to, for some reasons that I'm not going to go into right now. So we prepared everything. We went to the park, and this is where the mounds are. And there are 2 mounds that are still existing, but there are 5 that no longer exist. So it was a total of 7 mounds, and the 7 mounds are aligned with the Orion star system, but they also represent the Pleiades, which is the 7 sisters. Mounds are made like breasts of Mother Earth. So this is why they would bury their relatives within the mounds, because it was like putting them back into the womb of Mama Earth and making sure that their soul would be nurtured. Unfortunately, because so many wars broke out, not just between tribes, but between France, Spain, British people coming over here, wanting to take the land, wanting to rape and pillage like they do. They have not been at peace. And just think, if you went out at war, how can your spirit be at peace? And so a lot of indigenous peoples are still there on that land. You cannot see them with your 2 eyes. And there's a force field around them that protects them. When the pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee was built in 1991, 1991 is a number that is a mirror. 9-1. 19. Right? So that's a mirror. That's a portal. The pyramid is a portal. And the reason that the pyramid is so significant is because where the pyramid is sitting, it acts as a resonant chamber. It acts as an apex of energy that's also aligned with Sirius, with Orion star system. And so the reason that this is the murder capital is because no one has reclaimed those ancestral practices. I'm talking about from sincerity of heart, not on some I want to go viral and I want to be trendy and I want to jump on this bandwagon type stuff. Like, it's got to be straight, pure heart, right? So leading up to this, there was preparation and things that we had to do to be in alignment to do this. And as we're leaving to go to the mounds today to do ceremony, when I say ceremony, I mean I did the full ceremony. Everything I have ever taught you all, and a couple of things that I have not taught publicly yet, I did that. I didn't want to rudely awaken them. But Shilabash is a concept in the indigenous cultures where it was believed that souls needed assistance going into the afterlife. So people don't die and you just be like, deuces, you know what I'm saying? It was good, rest in peace. It wasn't like that. Our ancestors spent anywhere from 1 to 2 years grieving, doing rituals and ceremonies for anyone who died. Okay? But if you're in war and you're fighting for your life and people going down left and right, and it's just a few of you know we have to get away to survive, you're not going to do your ceremonies. You're too scrambled. It's too much going on. You're trying to survive. So because they died that way, what it did was it scrambled the energy within our genetics. So we're scrambled. This is why so many of us can't focus, we can't complete things that we finish. Look around your house. If you got piles anywhere in your house, it's a reflection of your inner world. It's scattered, it's jumbled. And so a lot of them left here like that, and that imprint is on the land. And so if where you live, you have been called, know that the land will speak to you. The same way plant medicine will call you, will speak to you. And so we have been called. And we was given a synchronicity with where our parents live, so it is a constant reminder, because it's so easy to forget. Spirit is very subtle, it does not speak loud. And there are other dreams that I had I'm not going to get into right now, but I knew that this call was for this year. And this is a 9-year. This is the year of the serpent in Chinese astrology. And the Mississippi River is considered to be the black serpent of ancient Kemet. Okay, just like the Nile River is over there. So we go to the mound, and on our way there, a storm breaks out. We've been having micro storms in Memphis. And these are really, really bad storms that flood neighborhoods, but not the entire city. And then it's gone. Flash flood, lightning, power outages, then it's gone. Sun out like it never happened. We've been having that for like the past at least year, okay? And there's a correspondence with why we're having that, because there is a supercomputer here that wasn't here before. And if you look at just the timeline and the weather, you start to see some overlay. Okay, we'll just put it like that. And I will be going into that more later on Patreon, of course. So with that being said, I'm thinking to myself, it's pouring down raining. We're not going to be able to do what we need to do. So as we're riding, my daughter says, look, the sun was shining through one cloud. And we looked up to that cloud, and a silver UFO went right into the cloud. And it was as if anybody here that has ever seen a UFO, you will know there's this telepathic connection that you feel. It's almost like you know exactly where to look and when, but you didn't know why. And you look there and you see it, and like that, it's gone. That happens that way because you're seeing through the simulated reality. You're seeing through the matrix. You're getting a peek behind the curtain. And I knew that was the sign because I had just told him I saw one a few days ago. And I asked for a sign. I literally said, okay, ancestors, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to need the storm to go away. The storm went away. Not only did the storm go away, but we have a heat warning.
We've been
How long? For the last week?
2 weeks.
Excessive heat. Heat like you wouldn't imagine. And today, that went away. Soon as we got to the mounds, we saw a couple sitting on top of one of the mounds. So we had to go to, we was like, okay, we're going to go to the other mound. Because they probably not here to do what we're here to do. They was there watching the sunset and picnicking, right? We're there to do rituals to heal our land and heal our people and heal our lineage, right? To heal our timeline, to heal our world, right? To bring peace to the ancestors who lost their lives fighting colonizers and fighting each other because of things that colonizers was doing. A lot of tribes was at peace with each other until the colonizers came and they started turning us against each other. Like, this is old. This happened way before slavery. So I had already went to this land a week before just to make sure that it was okay for me to come there and do ceremony. And they gave me the okay, but I asked again. Always ask first. And always come with an offering. Never come empty-handed to sacred land. Because a lot of Choctaws are still buried there, right? So as we're sitting there right beside the Mississippi River, the pyramid not far away, President's Island not far away, the supercomputer that's here for AI not far away from us, and here we are in the midst of these mounds and in the midst of all of this history and all of this happening. And I laid my hands on the ground. At first I put my hands in the air and asked if it was okay and said a prayer. And I laid my hands on the ground because I didn't hear anything. As soon as my hands touched the ground, I could hear them chanting, and I heard horses and feet. And I knew that that was them. They've been in a sleep state. They've been in stasis. So when you die and there's a lot of tragedy and trauma, it literally like disjoints you, your spirit and soul from your body. And so you can't go move on to the next step in the afterlife because you experienced something so traumatic, you're not able to even make that journey. This is the reason why we helped each other to make that journey. When people book readings with me now, I tell you, if somebody just passed away, light a blue or white candle and petition for them to make this journey safely. It's no different than traveling from country to country or state to state. You're just going from one dimension to the other. And so we helped each other. This wasn't something we had to go through alone. And the replacement that we were given, wakes and funerals, they're not our ancestors' rituals. That's not ancestral intelligence. That's colonizers' way of honoring the dead. And so as long as we're following these things and not doing anything else, nothing is going to change. I don't care how many people on TikTok or YouTube talking about this and talking about that. Nothing will change until we start changing what we use our energy for. So after this, we started setting up. My little brother happened to come, so here I am surrounded by two chiefs, like protected and safe. It was so beautiful. And after we set up and did everything we needed to do, we had some Yao Pao, and Yao Pao is a tea ceremony that was used by the Black indigenous to help with grief and to keep the land from holding on to negative energy as well, and to help those who lost their lives to be able to take that soul's journey properly without interference. And so how did I learn about this tea ceremony? What I'm telling you, through listening to spirit, meditating, doing my rituals every single day. He'll tell you I'm on it every single day. I don't get a day off from this. I live this life. I'm dedicated to this. And you know, and you can say, well, I don't have time. Make time. Make time. We're here to be creators of our own reality. Make time and do the things that you know you're supposed to do. You know, don't keep being irritated and frustrated about what you see happening in the world and not using that to be a catalyst. Make time and do it. Even if it's just 5 minutes, make time and do it. So we're sitting there and we just get this huge gush of wind.
Yeah.
Pick up, babe.
I mean, we were drumming. She was playing the drum, I was playing the drum, and bro he had an instrument too, and so we were just playing, and before we knew it, while we was playing, mind you, the whole time it's not windy. You know, it rained earlier, but it hadn't rained. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't windy. We talking about muggy, atmosphere that's usually muggy hot. So all of a sudden, just, and I'm talking about like the breeze lasted probably about 4-5 seconds. It wasn't just a. It was
That's
like
so true.
Immediately it resonated that they was like, we breathed on this. We you know what I'm saying? And then we looked at each other, and then afterwards we just stopped, and we was like, we just acknowledged that we felt it, and everybody was like, yeah, well, the three of us was like, yeah.
It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. We actually, so that happened several more times after that during the ceremony. And when we drank the libated with the Yao Paul, we all felt it. And it was a synergy that was created between us. So we didn't practice this. The drumming, if they give me the green light, I'm gonna post this only on Patreon. This will not be anywhere else, because I don't want any energy. I don't want nobody thinking it's trendy and cute and just do it. Like, you don't play with this kind of stuff. You dealing with powers that we're just now coming and awakening into understanding and understanding. You don't play with this, you know. And spirits can be vengeful. every ancestor, some of my ancestors about that smoke, and that's it, because they're vengeful and they're stuck in that state, right? And so this is something that there are rules, and laws to this. There are laws that govern, right, this awakening, and your heart has to be light as a feather for you to do this type of work. You can't do this heavy. You can't do this if every 5 minutes you're thinking about something else, thinking about bills, thinking about stuff. Your mind has to be one point focus, and there's a synergy between the group. And that happened, and we didn't practice it. We've never sat down and played instruments all together before. Me, him, and my brother. I left my body for a moment and came back into my body and heard them behind me, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you would have swore up and down, like, this is what we do. We travel and go to different places in the world and play music to heal the land. That's how smooth and how synergistic it was. Then the dragonflies like surrounded us. It was like it was like some mythical fantasy happening. And I could feel the heaviness leaving the land. Consider this, right in front of us is the hospital that was used for the civil rights movement. What other things happened on that land? The Civil War that occurred. A lot of the soldiers who got hurt were taken to this particular hospital that's sitting right in the middle of where the other mounds used to be. That's right in front of us, right? And then you got the metal museum that's right on the side of that, right in front of us. Metal represents Ogun, and Ogun is the Orisha over metalworking. So that does include guns. That does include weapons, machetes, right? Machinery. And so it's so much. Memphis is a very much a trifecta, like, spiritual place. And so you have ancient Kemet, indigenous, what some will call Native American. You have the Orishas, you have voodoo. Like, Memphis is such a mixing bowl of spirituality for those who know, and for those who know how to work with that energy. And so this is what's around us as we're doing this, and I could hear them. Like, it was tripping me out for a moment, and I was like, okay, just stay focused on what you're doing. We just letting you know. We just letting you know that we're grateful, because nobody else has even thought about us in this way. People make documentaries, books, this, that, and the other, come and take pictures. Look at me in front of the mounds and stuff, and post it in videos. People be here with paranormal tours. Right, a paranormal tour bus popped up, and people there because it's a haunted place, right? It's sacred land to us, but it's haunted to some people. So hearing them would be considered a haunting, but to us it's a sign, And so we did that. We did all of the things that we were told to do. And we had our daughter with us, and she was like just riding her bike just fine. It was surreal. The weather conditions couldn't have been more perfect. And because my health has been a battle, I'm in this warfare with my physical body right now, because I'm a Hayoka. I'm a Hayoka empath. I've been absorbing pain my entire life and didn't have rituals and ceremonies to release it, and didn't know how. So, and I'm being raised in the underworld in this energy. You got to know how to move and navigate this dense energy here in Memphis. This ain't the,
Wherever you are.
Yeah. This energy do not play with you, okay? It does not play, and you will drown if you don't know how to swim. It's sink or swim here, right? So I'm healing so many things, and I have been saying to them, y'all, be gentle on me. I will do what you're telling me to do, but I need you to be gentle on me, because it's been rough, right? And so today was like, everything was so perfect. I had no pain in my body. The headache that I had, that I woke up with, went away. It was almost as if there was one point while we were drumming that because I had a sore throat, and for those of you who've been following me, you know, like I got this thyroid cancer diagnosis that I'm dealing with now. But I was like, I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna try to do anything with my voice because I got this huge tumor and it hurts, you know. And I can't. My vocal cords don't work the way that they used to, and you know, so I had already made a decision. But as we're sitting there, my back, like something in my back, like I felt a vibration and like, and I opened up because I had already communicated with them. Was like, I'm gonna do whatever it is that I need to do that's required of me. And so they just hit me, and I don't know what I said. I just know stuff started coming out of my mouth. And this is ego death is allowing these things to happen and not feeling like you weird or do I sound bad or do I look stupid. All of that is ego. When you let spirit take over, you're not thinking about any of that. You're just letting the energy move through you. And so I don't even care if I post it on Patreon and y'all listen to it and y'all like, she sounds terrible. I could care less. If you can't recognize energy, that ain't on me. But that's just when you set your ego aside, that's how you feel. And so we were just allowing what was happening to happening. And I asked for another sign right before we left. And as we were getting ready to leave, I looked down on the paper that I printed the prayer on, because we prayed in every direction, following our ancestors' indigenous rituals. And on that piece of paper, it was. Did you see it? I think you walked ahead of me, and I didn't get to show it to you. But JT, my brother, saw it. But it was a caterpillar on the prayer paper, and it was just scooting across the paper, so cute, just like it looked in cartoons. Not a centipede, not a millipede, nothing, for a little caterpillar. And it was a baby caterpillar. And I was just tripping. I was like, caterpillars represents rebirth and transformation. That was a sign. And so I released the caterpillar. He was like trying to get up out of it. He like, look, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not supposed to be going to your house. So he was scooting across the paper, and I just helped him on off the paper. We went and got in the vehicle and got ready to leave. And like I said, there was 2 buses there, tourists who they come to these places because these places are extremely haunted, right? And there's a lot of lore about Memphis and certain places in Memphis. Yeah. But as we're leaving, when we get to my dad and my mom's house, she says to me, first of all, she said to me, you feel very Choctaw to me today. And I had not had a conversation with him about anything. And it was like, that was spirit letting me know. She lives walking distance. Every day that she walk outside her door, she's looking at the mounds. That's going to have an impact on you, even if it's just subconscious, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if she even know how deep what she said to me was, but it's so simple. And then she says to me, you know, sometimes in the middle of the night, because she said it was buses over there, and we was like, yeah, it was some tour buses for historic huntings of old places where these tragedies happened. Mm-hmm. And she said, you know, sometimes at night I can hear the Indians at night. And I looked at her and I said, what they be saying? And she said, you know, I can hear them chanting, and I can hear them, ooh. And I looked at my brother, because after I laid my hands on the land, and if you get to see the video of the ceremony, you'll see me and hear me say that. And I that's exactly what I said. I felt them and heard them. So she confirmed it, right?
But he did too.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And so did my brother. And so this was just another sign. And it just kept happening like that, right? And so, you know, this is going to be interesting to see what's happening, whether you live in Memphis or not. Like, keep your eyes on Memphis, okay? Because what's happening here is symbolic of the spiritual wave that's moving across the world. And when an area, because Memphis is a portal to the underworld. Anybody ever visited here, you can attest to it. It feels heavy. When you get in Memphis, you know you in Memphis. It feels way different, right? And that's because Memphis is a portal to the underworld. And so this is why a lot of people go missing in the Mississippi River, never to be seen again. Boats, just like with Atlantis and Bermuda Triangle, Mississippi River been swallowing shit. People, places, things, whatever. You know, we even get whirlpools in the Mississippi River, and it'll take boats under. It'll take 40-foot trees under, and people never find these things again. There is a portal under the Mississippi River, and so this portal to the underworld is the reason that this energy is so dense and heavy here. It needs to be transmuted. It's waiting on people to transmute it. And you don't have to physically be here to transmute it. That's what the energy is here for. If we were in our tribes, if we had our shamans, if we knew that we were shamans, medicine men, medicine women, high priestesses, healer, energy healers, dream walkers, if we knew that we were these things, then we would be using this. We would be transmuting the energy. But we just see it happen and be like, oh, I'm so sick of hearing this. Like, you know, people killing each other and this, that, and the third, and all of this is going wrong and happening. This energy is making itself available for us to perform chaos magic. And if you're a chaos being, but you don't know how to transmute energy, you don't know how to be an alchemist, then that's when you get in spaces in your life where things just seem bleak for you, and it don't seem like you're going through a spiritual awakening. It don't seem like you're healing in those moments. And there are things that you can do to shift that, but what are you doing about it? You can't think your way through the awakening. It demands presence, attention, devotion, right? And so whatever you give your attention to is where your energy flows. And so you can ask yourself, how much attention do I really give to my spiritual self, right? And my existence in this world. And if you're not making an investment energy into that space, you're not gonna have certain experiences. And it got nothing to do with they and out there. What are you doing? And a lot of us are just too afraid to look weird, to be real with you, to do certain stuff. Y'all know good well, y'all be wanting to hug trees and go and walk barefoot and lay in the park and do yoga in the park. Like, we used to laugh at people that did stuff like that. Like, look at that man, he's so crazy. Why he out here in the middle of the park with no shoes on, stretching and stuff? Look at this man, this crazy. Look at this. And that's ego. That's a simulated reality to keep us all behaving like clones, right? And so a lot of us could create quantum shifts just by doing something different with your energy. It's a lot of energy inside of you. You are the microcosm of the macrocosm. And so with today being the new year and us being able to have this ceremony during the new year, I don't know if y'all can see auras, but that energy is all over us. And when we were done, we all looked at each other and we knew something huge had just taken place. Did I miss anything? Was there anything you wanted to add?
No, you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
It was just, it's just been amazing. It's been really feel good.
And I hope that we have inspired y'all in some way.
I'm gonna say this: when you given something to do, see it all the way through. That's I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because it was obstacles and things that occurred that could have deterred us from pushing on through and doing what was given to be done. And from the rain to, I mean, you know what I'm saying, from us here getting to there, it was all kinds of, you know what I'm saying. Maybe we should do it. You know what I'm saying. It was like, now we're gonna go ahead. And then when we got to where we were going, the atmosphere was already set. So yeah, that one thing. When you given something to do,
Yeah.
and you know that you've been given something to do,
Yeah.
see it through. Go on, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't let nothing stop you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause the matrix is there to create resistance, to make it difficult for you to do the things that you know you would benefit from doing.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of us just not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So, what's happening in the economy, politics, the weather, our consciousness does have an impact on all of that. And what has been needed is for us to be able to step outside of this role of who we think we are, step outside of our comfort zones and do something different. And I can't even tell you how long I've been preparing myself, purifying myself, eating clean. We've been fasting. It's so much preparation that we've been doing to build up to this moment, to build up to this point, and just to hear our ancestors celebrating. Nobody had, like, think about it. Grief ceremonies? Like, we don't know what that is. What does that mean? What? Oh, I'm supposed to drink a certain thing, eat certain things, say a certain thing? Oh, I didn't know that. And then we wonder why things are the way they are. We wonder why those of us who are parents, why our children's got the issues that they got, why we got the issues we got. When we got ready to leave, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to get off here and let us just enjoy the rest of this. But when we got ready to leave, because I know we're going to get so many messages, and it's just, even y'all watching this is an activation. This isn't just a video. But when we got ready to leave, the last thing that was said was one of the chiefs of the village. The women and children stayed behind the men. I did feel that. They stayed in front because, think about it. Have y'all ever heard of anybody else intentionally healing the land and actually investing time, money, and energy into doing it? Like, it's unheard of. We hear so many lectures and videos and people talking about it and people connecting dots, but it's rare that people, and I mean, unless you got a big platform and you go charge people a whole bunch of money to come and do it with you type stuff, you just own making some money. They made it very clear.
Glamorizing.
Right. You know, glamorizing something that's meant to shift the paradigm, meant to break through. You can't heal your future unless you mend what happened in the past. And so when we were getting ready to leave, the last thing that the chief communicated to me was, he said, we're aware of what's happening in the world. We can't do it. We couldn't do anything to help y'all though, because of the state that we've been locked in. But now that you have acknowledged our presence and took the time and energy to do this, and did it without wanting anything in return, without trying to somehow benefit off of it in a monetary way, not making it about the ego. You know, he was just like, there's so much respect that we have for this moment, and we're grateful. And he said to me, the mental health issues in your communities is because you don't know our ceremonies and rituals. You don't know how to reconnect. And today, you just created a bridge so that we can move back and forth from dimension to dimension to help heal and reconnect. And this is the reason that so many rappers and artists coming out of the South, coming out of Memphis, coming out of the Mississippi Delta. This is why the movie Sinners was made when it was made and released when it was released. Whether Ryan Coogler knew what was happening or not, the entire time I was sitting back like, ooh, this is major. You know, this is major. And I cried in that movie because I was so moved and connected by so much of what was happening. And to hear the chief give thanks for that, when we poured the libations of the Yapal tea to help release the souls, the negative energy and the grief. No one had done that since they had done that. That's how it was communicated to me. Now, if anybody knows some indigenous people and they can come on here and say something different, and no, we go there and we've done this grief ceremony, but nobody had done that. And when you listen to spirit, it won't be something that you will be able to look to somebody else to like guide you through the whole thing. You may be able to get bits and pieces, but you gotta have courage. You're gonna have to have faith in your own ability and trust your intuition that what you're doing is what is being called for and that it's in alignment. And that is powerful. We didn't have no breathing issues. The AI Super Center was just a hop, skip, and a jump away. People been having that. Okay? Like none of that. That space was so sacred. And it was so beautiful, so amazing.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Our people are really beautiful people. The indigenous people of this world really had a deeper understanding of Mama Earth and the cosmos and being the bridge in between. And they knew how to be portals. They knew how to be the connection between realms. And that's what creates harmony. But without that, you're just gonna have chaos and pain and suffering. So, yeah. But we want to thank y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
For joining us. I say to everybody here, may everything work in your favor from this point forward. May you start to receive your own synchronicities.
Yes.
And actually start to use some of your money to like invest in things for spiritual purposes. What we do with our money counts too. Everything that we do is a ritual. We are people who are deeply connected. And though we may not be in tune all the time and able to, what we do with our energy, our time, our money, our mind, our hearts, that is our currency. And that creates the weather on this planet. And if we each individually become more tapped in and willing to put more attention into our spirituality, our practices, learning, embodying that, doing that right there, that's how you break the 3D matrix open. And this won't be a prison planet anymore. It'll simply be a planet that we come to learn and have this earthly experience, but we won't get locked here and trapped here and forced to reincarnate in the same situations over and over again, not being able to break through. It's such a bad feeling to feel stuck and stagnant. And so you're not here just to work, go to school, eat, sleep. Okay? And by you doing the things that you're here for, there are different types of energy workers on this planet. We all have a role to play. But learning what that role is, learning to listen to those subtle nudges and actually loving. Because when you really love something, you're going to find a way to let it happen. Like for real, you are. And I'm grateful. I wanted to share it. I'm not gonna say any more than needs to be said. If it is posted, it will be posted on Patreon. But I feel like this is one of those things that we'll come back to years from now, and people who will watch this years from now will be able to experience the energy of this moment under the new galactic year of Sirius rising, which happens to be the yellow flowering seed energy of today. And that seed energy is the energy of the beginning stages of creating something new. So don't let the negativity, the news, none of the stuff happening, don't let it distract you. Don't let it confuse you. Don't let it make you feel like you don't matter, you don't exist, and that we're going through this awakening for nothing and nothing is changing. It is, but it's not going to look like it at first, because we're not supposed to believe by seeing. we're supposed to believe until we see.
Yeah.
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 All right.
You put it. Did you want to address anything?
I don't think I saw any questions or anything. I think
Okay.
people are just letting us know. Thank you for letting us know, and thank you for joining us. And like I said, I will
Thank
send
you.
out an email. If we post this, I'm going to wait on communication from them because I know the impact this is going to have on people. And I there are things that I can't say, timelines that are being created now. This is how you break the timeline, right? And create a branch off of a timeline. This is how it's done, right? And to get to see this and experience this, to hear people like Delbert Blair and Bobby Hemmett and many people that we listen to, you know, to hear them talk about it was one thing, but to get to experience it and share that experience, this is how healing happens, and we're here to activate each other, right? And so you can't always move solo. There's some things that will only happen when you interact with energy outside of yourself that's going to resonate with something inside of you that's been lying dormant, sleeping, like the snake in my dream. So the snake is like, it's time to shake and bake, right? This is what it is to be awake. And before I start rapping, because that's been happening to me as of late, we're going to go ahead and get ready to close this out. It's been a beautiful day.
It has. Yeah, it felt like we were celebrating. We were celebrating as we was closing.
Oh, and the last thing, okay, and I'm done after this, like really done after this. But we stopped at the store so that our daughter could use the bathroom, and I saw these beautiful cherries like just sitting there. It was just like the light was on the cherries. And cherries are the color of the root chakra, you know. So this is root chakra healing, root chakra stability, right? This is why cherries are expensive. It's one of the most expensive fruits in America, and that's for a reason. But cherries have a very high vibration. This is why tart cherry juice can help activate your dreams, activate lucid dreaming. So I'm walking past the cherries. I'm about to teach y'all another class, but I'm walking past the cherries, and I was like, you know what? Let me just grab a bag. Get the bag of cherries, get ready to check out. It came out to be $20. Now I know most people probably would not spend $20 on some cherries.
They probably be like, how many cherries you get?
Right. But it was a pretty big bag. It was a full bag. And so just hit, yeah. And so when I got ready to check out, I was like, wow, it was $19. Now, remember I was talking about the number 19 in 1991, and there's a crystal skull inside of the pyramid as well here in Memphis, and that crystal skull was created by extraterrestrials. People really don't know how it was created, but there are a few of them across the world, but Memphis happens to have one. And this is something that everybody don't know, and I'm gonna do a decoding and go deeper into that, and that'll be on Patreon as well. I'm gonna tell y'all all about it, what it means, and how it can be something that connects to you and that you can use for yourself by having access to this knowledge. But anyway, so as we're getting ready to check out, the lady walked over there to help me, and she's like, you know what? I got a coupon code for this. And I was like, you got a coupon code for some cherries? And I was like, you mean the coupons that they be sent? She's like, no, I got something different. And she went and got it, came back over there and scanned it, and it took $10 off. That's a lot. When you're in the middle of food recalls, food shortages, all the stuff that's happening, and somebody just walk up to you and like, I got a coupon for this, and give you $10 off, not 10%, $10 off. I ended up only paying $9 for the cherries, and this is the year of 9. So that was that next synchronicity that happened, and we're just now 2 hours out of ceremony. So it's just gonna turn up from here. And this is why the 3D matrix try to keep us distracted, feeling too small, busy, or too tired, or too divided to do ceremonies together. This is the reason. But you know, we're wanting to be the embodiment of what we talk about.
That's right. Turn it up.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, all right, y'all. Well, we're gonna go ahead and jump off here. We have Hamsa selenite stones that we charge at the Mississippi River. Those will be on sale on the website if you want to check it out. And of course, go ahead and get on Patreon if you're not, because this is where everything is gonna be. And I have over 400 posts already there of things that have been deleted, and people are just now starting to see people go viral teaching stuff that we've been teaching for many years. So that's beautiful. It means that the wave is finally catching on, but you all get to be ahead of that wave and get those activations and that information. All right, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I just wanna I just wanted to make sure that y'all got to feel this energy today. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.